Hi, welcome back to the Your Confidence Coaches podcast. I'm Brittany Perez, and this is Marlee Bruno.
And we are your female authority on aesthetics, mindset coaching, and self-care.
And today we're going to talk about what confidence means. So, Marlee, what does confidence mean to you?
So, to me, confidence means returning to your natural state of radiance. And by that, I mean, I feel like we're born confident, and because I have a 2-year-old toddler and an almost 2-year-old and almost 6-year-old, and they are very confident in saying no and just deciding how they're going to be.
Being themselves.
Being themselves, yes. And I think that what happens is that we shy away from being confident based on things being traumatic and happening to us, and peer pressure, societal pressures, parental pressure. I feel like those things happen, and then it makes us feel like we are unworthy or unlovable if we speak out against that, or if we feel like we've made a bad decision somewhere along the line or something, and then we made a mistake, and therefore we don't feel like we're confident anymore in making a decision.
Yeah, so it's kind of like little things over time that take little bits of confidence away.
Mm-hmm. But I really do think that confidence is a natural state for a human.
I agree.
I just feel like we have all these layers that we've gained from other things since then that have caused us to not feel confident anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so my version of confidence is feeling secure in your thoughts, your feelings, your decisions. Not just the way that you feel in your mind, but also the way that you hold yourself. Do you make eye contact when you walk into a room? Do you sit up straight, or do you slouch over? So it
makes me want to
it's a feeling and a being state.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. So we also talked about, we touched on earlier when we were talking about imposter syndrome and how that can deal with confidence. So what do you have to say about that? Imposter syndrome and confidence.
I've struggled with imposter syndrome most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, it comes back to the childhood, the things that happen when you're younger, and people telling you, a certain person in my life, would tell me to quit when things got too hard. And it was, I never felt quite good enough. Mm-hmm. And so even now, with all the accolades that we have and the successes and achievements that we have, we still question ourselves. Did we get here by accident? Are people believing that we're supposed to be here right now?
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me when I talk to people about that. They laugh at me. They're like, you literally have a doctorate.
You earned it. And you did that.
Right?
Yeah.
But I still question it. And, I'm thinking, am I just book smart? It's imposter syndrome.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I was telling Marlee, I went to Arizona this weekend for a MERS summit of sorts, and I didn't know anything going in. I had very little information, and I'm very grateful for the experience. But basically, it was like, you're going to this summit. You'll be there for 2 days. It's a knowledge exchange. So you're going to share your information. Other providers are going to share their information. Well, little did I know, it was only 30 injectors throughout the U.S. It was a very, very small group. Mm-hmm. And when I initially walked in to the room for the reception, the first table that I walked to, of course, it's awkward going up to a table of people that know each other and are already talking.
Yeah.
And I walked up to introduce myself, and I was like, hi, I'm Brittany from Florida. And I said, I'm here because I use some MERS products, but primarily I'm trying to learn more about the products. Mm-hmm. And it happened to be all of the executives from the company that I'm sitting here saying, I'm here for your 30-person summit, and I don't know anything about your products. And so immediately I was like, oh my God, should I even be here? Why am I here? Mm-hmm. And I honestly did have that imposter syndrome, and I lost my confidence a little bit, but no one visually would know that. And so that's what we were talking about, feeling confident versus being confident. And so in the moment, I didn't feel confident. I wanted to go crawl in a hole. And in fact, I texted Courtney, my assistant, and I said, I hate it here. You can ask her. That's literally what I said. But even though I didn't feel confident, I still projected being confident. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the night, I ended up going to other tables and, talking to everyone. And I finally kind of was getting the feeling that everything was going to be okay and I was meant to be there. But it's a struggle for me. No matter what situation I put myself in, I think it's a normal thing to question. but it's how you react.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is that, look, like, we are, well, I'm just going to say we're not all perfect, but I think we all are perfect. But we put this pressure on ourselves to perform a certain way, when really the important thing is to just have awareness about where you're triggered, right? Like, oh no, I'm in this room with all these people that are actually famous. Like, what she left out was these are actually famous injectors that we all like have on our Instagram and that we all look up to. Yeah, and we're like, they got millions of followers, and we're over here with our couple thousand
3,000.
You know, we're with our couple thousand, very organic and very worthy followers.
Engaged followers.
Yes. But these are the people that she's talking about, she was in the room with. But the important thing is, okay, I'm feeling away, I'm feeling discomfort, or I'm feeling like I screwed up in my introduction or whatever, and it really wasn't that bad, okay? And I really can save it from here, right? Like, it's gonna be okay.
Yes.
Right? And I'm in this room feeling this way, and also these people with these millions of followers are also probably feeling this way because they're human.
They do.
Yeah, that's the important part.
And so another part of confidence for me and what I've had to learn is to not be perfect all the time. I think a lot of us in the medical profession and in other professions too, we focus so much on perfectionism that we have a hard time exuding confidence because we're never going to be good enough, because we'll never be completely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we can strive to be better and to always, do more than we did the day before. But if we're striving for perfection every time, we're never going to take that step. We're never going to take that step to do something further in our career. We're never going to put ourselves outside of the comfort zone. For me, and Marlee and I were talking, both of our goals is to speak on podium one day. We love learning, we love educating, and so that's the next step in our careers. And that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So scary.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to know that even if we go up there and we bomb the first time, and we're not perfect, that we're going to go and do it again, and it's going to be okay. So we have confidence in knowing that we can make changes and not be perfect.
And then everyone starts somewhere. Like, what do we tell our students for method? We tell them everyone starts somewhere. And many, many years ago, like, I was in the situation where, like, I was in a classroom and I was not sure, right? And this is where you are right now, right? And you were there at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we have to start somewhere, and we have to be okay with some level of discomfort, or else we'll never even try. We'll never, there was some really good quote, and I can't remember, somebody like Henry Ford or somebody who has had, such huge success in their lifetime said, like, success is only measured by how many times you've failed, and then we're brave enough to get up and fail again.
Yep.
It's like failing forward and all these things.
It is, because that's what we learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most of the things that will stick with me forever are things that I failed first, and I was like, shit, I'm not going to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Or I do it again, but the next time I didn't do as bad. I might have kind of failed, but you progressively get better, and that builds your confidence. Making small mistakes over time, that's how you build confidence, right?
Yeah.
You do a lip filler patient. The first time you ever do it, you're like, oh God, you have zero confidence, even though your patient, you're looking good to them and you know what you're doing, but on the inside you're like peeing your pants.
Yes, that's so true.
And every time you do it, you become more confident with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every single time, and you get better every single time. But what if after your first lip filler patient, you thought it wasn't perfection, and then you never did it again?
I think that happens to some people.
What would I do? Because you fill my lips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that happens. I mean, I think that there are people in our profession, and probably other professions, where they try something and like, they do it one time or two times, and they're like, oh, I'm not good at that, I'm never going to do it again.
Yeah.
But how does anyone get good at something?
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah.
You're not just born, some people are born athletic or born, musical
artists,
or great singers, artists. Yeah. But for the average Joe, we have to practice to get better.
And those people also need to hone their skills too. I mean, they also need to continue to practice. And that's the important part, is being willing to continue to learn. Being willing to be a student all your life.
Yeah. In every aspect of it, whether it be, I'll never be mentally sound enough to not need life coaching, and Marlee is a life coach and she gets coaching.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
I agree. I think that we're always learning, we're always striving to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, if you woke up tomorrow and you were just 10 times more confident than you are right now today,
that makes me want to sit up straight.
Yeah,
that makes me want to.
How would your life change? What would be different? Would your work be different? Would your relationships be different? What do you think?
1,000%. I mean, that literally made me want to sit up straighter right then. And it's interesting that you're saying this because that's a life coaching tool that we use, right? Imagine yourself 10 times as confident. What kind of decisions would you make? What kind of breakfast would you eat that morning? What time would you wake up that morning? You probably wake up a little earlier. You're probably eating something a little more nutritious. You might even squeeze in a workout before your work day. You're going to present yourself to the public in a more confident manner.
Yes.
People are going to look at you differently because what? You decided because we told you on a podcast that that's what you should do tomorrow? Yeah, but it actually does work.
It does.
Yeah.
You have to make that conscious decision.
It's a mindset.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. Confidence is a mindset.
Absolutely. And a state of being.
It is.
Yeah. And it's natural. It's the most natural thing. Confidence is the natural part. All the other shit is just layers that you need to get rid of.
Yeah. We just have to find it again.
Yes. I want to talk about self-image.
Okay.
And confidence.
Sure.
How important do you think that is?
You tell me.
I think it's a lot. I think it is. Yeah. I think it's a big deal, especially like in our industry. Brittany and I are providers that have a very holistic approach to what we do in aesthetics. We take care of the whole person and not just like their face per se. And we understand that beauty is an internal thing. And I have not met a single patient that I don't feel is already beautiful when they walk in the office. Absolutely. Because that's my job, right? My job in the world as a woman, I think, is to see the beauty everywhere. That's what I try and do every day when I walk out into the world. And so when my patients are in the chair, I give them the mirror, and the first thing they have to tell me is their favorite thing about their face. Because they have to buy into feeling beautiful also,
right,
and finding the beauty in their own face. And an external change for someone can cause them to feel more beautiful and more confident. And I see that happen, 30 times a day.
Yeah.
Do you?
I do. And it's interesting too, because, like lips on women. So this weekend, the keynote speaker was a woman from Brazil, and her whole topic of study was transgender patients. And so it was taking a male patient and transforming them into a female, because internally they feel like a woman, right? Yeah. Okay, so her study found that the number one thing that these transgender patients wanted was lip filler. Because again, that is something that is very feminine. Yes. And so you think about masculine features versus feminine features, and it can be pretty easy to masculinize a face. Am I saying that right? Why does that sound weird?
Masculinize.
That was right. You did good. Yeah. So, you can add volume, you can make the jawline sharper, but to feminize and to soften features, that can be a little bit more difficult. Right, sure. We can soften the master with some Botox. We can, maybe soften the transition of the temples. But when we think about feminine qualities, a lot of times we think the mouth. Yep. And so I found that very interesting, because you talk a lot about that too, like giving a patient a little bit of lip filler, and then she's like taking selfies.
Totally. It's a lovely thing. So if I, like, a lot of my patients want to be my Facebook friend and stuff, which I find great because I'm a very friendly person and I love friend requests, so request me as a friend on Facebook. You're that way too. Oh yeah. Yeah. But it's very cool to see a woman who has been like hiding out in her home and like hasn't really put any photos of herself on Facebook, and then like literally 2 to 3 days after her lips have healed a little bit, she's on there like taking pictures of herself and posting them because she feels good about herself. That's everything to me. That's why I'm in this business. Yeah. What I care about is that they feel beautiful. That's what I care about, because I already know they are. I help them find it. That's what we do. Yes. I agree. And that is my favorite part of my job. And that is also why I try to see most of my patients back at 2 weeks. It's not that I feel like I'm probably going to need to touch them up or anything like that. But I love having them come back and say, I feel so good. I'm getting these compliments. Yes. And they're exuding confidence too. They stand up a little bit taller. They make better eye contact. Yes. You can see a difference in their personality. And so that's really, really fun. Yes. So something popped up and I want to talk about it. Okay. In one of my life coaching courses, they talked about how a female's self-image maybe this is for all the men out there listening, or maybe for you guys to tell your husbands about this.
Okay,
So a female's self-image is equivocal to a male's ability to provide and protect. So this is how important a woman's self-image is that it's like, men out there, okay? If you lose your job and can no longer provide for your family, that feels terrible to you. It's just a natural thing. And if a woman does not feel beautiful, sexy, confident, that is a very similar feeling to her if she's experiencing that.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's what in life coaching they did a ton of studies around like what's equivocal to get a man to understand like, why are you spending all this money on Botox? You're so beautiful. And they really do. I think that our husbands actually do think that we are that beautiful.
They do.
Like, I'm having a mommy makeover here soon, and I'm sure my husband's like, why the hell would you do that? But it's for me. It's for me because I know what it's gonna make me feel like. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
That's why I do that. I
I've
believe
had plenty.
Yes, and I believe in an external change to make an internal difference, you know, or just because I just want to present myself this way externally, you know. And so I don't know why that came up, but that came up to me just to talk about like, this is how important it is for women in our self-image and feeling confident.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does. And I think that, you know, again, in your relationships, if you externally feel confident and you like the way that you look, then you are going to probably even have a better relationship with your significant other.
Absolutely.
You know, whether it be sexually or emotionally.
Yeah.
You know,
all the hormone patients that come in here and they don't want to be sexually active because they don't feel like they look the way that they should be looking, and they're not as comfortable or confident in the bedroom because of how their body looks and feels to them. I've had some women come in and even say like, I feel foreign. I've had this experience right after having my babies, I feel foreign to me, like my body. Like I'm walking through a doorway and I'm smashing off of it because I thought I was thinner than I am. You know, I'm sure. Like I've had patients to explain this to me that like, oh, I thought my shoulders weren't that broad, but like I put on some weight, and so it feels very foreign, and it can sometimes not feel like you. And then I think that sometimes when we do things to like maybe help a patient lose a little weight, or at least make them feel cared about enough to feel worthy to do the things that are the healthy things to do, like eating right and working out and stuff like that, that is so helpful for their confidence level.
Yeah. And so, you know, how do we help you? Like, we can sit here and say, be more confident, and, you know, look at people in the eyes and all these things.
Yeah.
So how do we help you do that? And I posted something in one of our mentoring groups today about journaling, or about making like a board, like a vision board.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you can make a vision board, and it sounds very elementary, right? Okay, go get a piece of cardboard and cut some magazine pictures out and stick it on a board.
It's also very fun and very creative energy.
It is, and so
it's a very feminine thing to do.
And what you do is you take this board, and you don't have to go buy magazines. You can go on the internet and, you know, find pictures of things that excite you, that you know, look forward to in the future. So what would a vision board look like for you?
Oh, I have tons.
Okay, so
I wish I had one here, because there's probably one in the back room. It's got money on it. Because I grew up a poor kid, and so money is something that I like to have in life, because it affords me freedom, it affords me vacations, and it affords not just money.
And that's a good point.
Me to help people. I give a lot of it away, actually.
Yeah. Money is freedom to us. So I think a lot of times people get really confused when, you know, Marlee and I are like, okay, we want to get to this point in our life because we want money. It's not about the money. It's about the time freedom that it allows you. Excellent point.
After having worked in the hospital, for the man, for that long, it feels like freedom,
and helping other people, because I don't know about you, actually I do know about you, we're very generous with other people too. Absolutely. Gifting and tipping and all this stuff. It's a way to give back too.
Yes, absolutely. It would have a bunch of lips and like eyelashes and beauty things on it, and then it would also have probably pictures of families, because this is my, like, you know, New Year's is coming up, so we're gonna have to come up with these like New Year's resolutions now, you know. Not that we have to, but so one of mine is to rest more, actually, and spend more time with my family. And so more family photos and things like that would be on there. I love colors, so I'm a very colorful person. So I probably would like pick out like a rainbow or something to remind myself of, like, to be more vibrant and enjoy color more.
Yeah. So I would encourage everyone to take the time to really make some type of mental plan for the next 3 or 4 months. It doesn't need to be a 5-year plan. It doesn't need to be, even a year from now.
Yeah.
But if you can sit down and identify what you want in the next 3 months, what goals do you want to attain, what mindset do you want to have, what does confidence mean to you, really identify that. Maybe, get 6 or 8 photos to put on there, get a few quotes that you really, you feel.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you put on yours? What would you recommend for them to find to put on a confidence board?
A confidence board. What else would make you feel more confident?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really individual.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you need to sit and maybe journal for a second or get a sheet of paper out and say, like, what are the top 5 things that would make me feel more confident? And those would be the things that I would put on there, because vision boards are a visual representation of where you're going. That's what they're meant for. They're also fun, and they're very playful, and they're very creative, and it returns us to like our childhood when we used to sit and cut things out with scissors in kindergarten and all those things.
And it's manifesting.
Yes.
Right? Marlee and I talk about manifesting all the time, and I'm a huge believer in it. And I know a lot of people think that it sounds a little crazy or whatever, but we've seen it. It's happen in our life, so you can't deny it. Mm-hmm. We both are huge evidence of these things working for us. So, manifesting confidence, if that's something that you need, many of you may have all the confidence that you want or need, and there may be something else that you want for your future self. And so identify it now, and then you can look back on your vision board in 3 to 4 months and be like, yeah, okay, here I am.
Yeah. I want to give them the look up challenge also. So we also are going to challenge you over the next few weeks. When you walk into a room, keep your head up, put your shoulders back, and make eye contact with people. When you walk down a hallway, when you're going to the movie theater, when you're going through the grocery store, just look around. Because if you're not looking around, then you're missing the world around you. If you're someone that feels like you need to walk like this and be constantly looking down because you have social anxiety or whatever, we don't want to traumatize you, but we want to challenge you.
It's empowering.
Yes.
You will be shocked at how empowered you feel. It doesn't matter if it's the same sex, the opposite sex. If you walk into a space and you look at them, not in a flirting way or anything like that, but it just makes you feel better. It's that human connection that you're feeling. Yeah. So I love that challenge.
Good.
The other challenge, in addition, because we were talking about posture, is to pay attention to not only making eye contact, but holding your shoulders up. And you may have said that already, but I think a lot of us try to make ourselves smaller because we feel smaller on the inside. And so making yourself stand taller actually will help you be more confident too.
I have a good little thing that I never told you yet.
Okay.
This is good for you.
I'm excited.
This is good for you. Okay. So they've done studies around this, and I'm a hormones person, and I do a lot of bioidentical hormones in my office. And if you stand in the victory pose, so this is who's my cheerleaders in the audience, right? Victory pose like this with your arms up, like hell yeah. Stand like this for 30 seconds. You'll get at least a 20-point increase in your testosterone level. Did you know that? Isn't that amazing? Like literally.
Wait, 20 seconds?
20 seconds.
Okay.
By just put 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay.
At least a 20-point increase in your testosterone level. They've done the study where they've done it and they've drawn the blood and they've checked it.
Making yourself take up more space.
Yes. It's because
science.
And then also this pose, little kids naturally do that when they feel like they've done something good.
They're excited.
They do that. And that's a normal thing for a human body to do, but it literally raises your testosterone level.
That's so cool.
And testosterone is your confidence hormone.
I had no idea.
Isn't that neat? Yeah. And it's so easy to do that.
I love it.
It's like a feel good, because think about it. You're putting your shoulders back. You're putting your arms up. You're being somewhat active.
Right.
Yeah. It's called victory pose.
Okay. Yeah. So you can either walk into a room with your shoulders up, or you can walk in like this.
Just own the room, baby. Walk in with your arms straight up in the air. Here I am. I belong here.
I love it.
Because you do, and there's space for you. And we want you to feel this way because we've experienced that, and we want you to experience that also.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time on your Confidence Coaches podcast. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.